confessions. Adolescent, manic, depressing, nobody understood. Years trying to hide it and fight it, never did Johnny good. Mommy blaming herself, saying it's in our genes. Held me tight late at night, woken up by my screams. Tears mixed with sweat.
Greetings and salutations. You're now tuning in to the Hip Hop Advocate Show with John Figs,
De La Music,
and The Rock.
Yo, and tonight we kicking it with our brother podcast, yo. Yo, these brothers been rocking. This brother especially got a fresh new album. Didn't even know he was an artist. With
He's been hiding it from
multiple personalities. As we gonna discuss, I just discovered.
a singer.
Singer. Yo, singing, blowing. Spanish and English.
Podcast host.
Podcast hosting. You know what I'm saying?
Bajando Panty.
Mr. Bajando
Wow,
Panty.
Panty también, coño.
Mr. AKA like myself. I think it is the first time I met somebody that has more AKAs than me. Word.
Shit.
Yo, we got my man Handsome in the building.
Yeah.
What it is, ladies and ugly men, welcome. I am Handsome Contreras, and no, I'm not going to do the intro to Purple Cups and Champagne, but you know where I was headed, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
See the purple cups.
It's a pleasure, bro. This is actually my first time being invited on another podcast, so it's awesome to me. So thank you guys for having me here, especially outside of the podcasting front, because like you said, not many people that know me know I'm an artist, right? They don't know about the art, but that's how it started. That's the reason I got into all this shit.
That's why we're here today.
Man, and thank you for coming through.
Everybody know.
It made me get handsome myself. You know, you see the glasses. And
Handsome.
You fly, bro.
That's
it. Let me tell you, I'm only dressed like this because of my manager and stylist, Chetty.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I wanted to come with a hoodie and Timbs, and he's like, nah. Yo, you an artist now. We got to make this shit special.
You got to drake it up.
You said
That's
Bonitillo, right? Yo, I'm dyslexic, as I mentioned before. When I read, I'm like, yo, he must be a Mets fan. I thought it was Bobby Bonilla.
I am a Mets fan, though. Yo, Bonilla, man, you fucking screwed us with that contract, bro.
He's still getting paid.
That's the crazy shit.
Small man.
2032, right? That's when it ends.
But real quick, I want to shout out my man Chetty behind the camera.
Ooh.
Damn, Rizzo.
He came in clutch, yo.
The sixth man off the bench.
The man that made this possible.
Word up, man.
Handsome, so take it away, man. Take us to the beginnings, the musical beginnings.
What would you like to know?
How
Where would you like
did
me
you
to
start?
start? How did I start? All right, so
I know your dad was a singer.
Yeah, my dad was a singer with the New York Bunk 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 Bunk. It's a popular merengue band in the 80s. And like I told you guys before, like you hear me singing in Spanish, the first shit I did was sing. I've been singing since I was like 5 years old. Not to get all emotional and shit, but my pop split when I was 4. So obviously you see your father making music and shit like that. I'm pretty sure that's where all that shit came from. Like, oh, fuck it. I want to be a singer too. Maybe my dad will come see me.
To get his attention. You
like
wanted
that.
to get his attention at the moment.
And then at 5, I was living in East New York, in Van Sicklen, Brooklyn. And my brother, who's 11 years older than me, had Slick Rick's cassette, right? The original fucking.
The show.
All that shit, bro. So when he would play that, obviously, who am I trying to be like? My older brother.
Oh, The Great Adventures of Slick Rick?
Yeah.
The
original album, nigga, 89, right?
Yeah.
Right before he got locked up.
Wow.
So my brother would play that. That's why I always attribute, if you hear my style, the fact I like to tell stories. I'm a storyteller. So that has to have some seed in that, right? Because that was like the first rapper. It's not like I knew what the fuck he was talking about. But when you're a kid and you're emulating something, especially you want to be an artist, you're in the middle of Brooklyn in the David Dinkins era. Like, everybody wants to rap. That's who I used to emulate. And the rest is history, man. Like, I always been singing, always sang. It wasn't until Lauryn Hill, Ready or Not. That was the first time I ever wrote lyrics. And I remember.
She inspired you.
Yeah. And they were trash lyrics. I'm not going to lie to you. So much so.
We know all about that.
Yeah, dude. Everybody. If you ain't starting you with trash, you a liar, bro.
We were just. It's funny because before y'all got here, I was playing old shit of ours.
That's just uncomfortable.
Terrible.
Uncomfortable.
We continue.
It's hilarious.
It was real funny. Like, it's the sound quality, like what you're talking about.
You gotta start somewhere though. You know.
Yeah, your flow, your bars, the fact your timing sucks ass. Like,
Oh yeah.
bro, I didn't know what a bar was. My
We
first.
didn't know.
Let me see. Shout out to my boy Josh Velo, that's real big on the battle aspect. He lives in Arizona. Probably when he's out here, I'll introduce him to you guys. He's dope. Lost Temp. But I remember my first rhymes that I wrote that I wanted to show to anybody was shortly after Biggie died. And we were like in biology class. And I had a sheet, bro. Like the long, like loose leaf sheets. And that was front to back.
It was
and
an
then
essay.
front
You
to
just wrote
back.
an essay.
Yo,
Fam, like 7 pages. And I'm just
98
there.
bars.
Yeah, dude, like in biology, Mr. Drew Paul's class. And it's me and my 3 best friends growing up. Anthony Bayron, Michael Jacks, and Josh Velodes. And we're just there. And I was like, yo, guys, you want to hear something? I'm rapping now. Right? So Josh has been rapping since he was like first grade. Like he was, so obviously I want to rap to my boy. This is not Josh, my cousin, my co-host on the podcast. This is my other Josh Velodes. And I remember I spit it. You know, you're nervous and shit. You're spitting, but it's my boys. And when I was done, I remember my boy Bayron, Anthony Bayron, he was like, yo, that shit was great, whatever, My boy Mikey was like, man, that shit was trash. And when Mike said that shit, I was just like mad confused. But I look at Josh, and Josh's like, yeah, it was whack, but yo, you got some shit there. Like he actually,
He saw the potential.
yeah, he paid attention, and he's like, you know what a bar is? And I'm like, nah. He's like, you know your lines? I'm like, oh yeah, I know bars. He goes, no, a bar is a 4 count, and he starts like explaining all this intricate shit to me. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. He goes, yeah, I know you don't know, because it looks like you're rapping for a bar and a half, and then you rap for like 3/4 of a bar, and then your next line is like 2 bars long.
Damn, it sounded like science and
Dog,
shit.
it was horrible.
Is
But
the
that
structure?
motivated me.
The structure is what you lack when you start off.
Of course.
When was the first time you jumped into a booth?
Ooh, mad late in the game. I had to be either 17 or 18.
That's not late.
You know why I feel it was late though? Because like I said, my man's has been in the studio since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Obviously, he had an older brother that was taking him to the studio. So in my mind, it was always like, damn, I took long to get there. But it was mainly out of fear. Like in high school, we would have ciphers and shit, and I never would join them. And my boy Khalil would be like, yo, come on, spit the shit you spit in my crib. I'm like, nah, Leo, they're going to make fun of me, dude. Like, he's like, you crazy or your bars are crazy? I'm like, nah, they're not crazy. And I was always shy about it. And it's my cousin Alexi, who was like 4 years older than me. Shout out to Alexi, wherever you are. He was the one that literally grabbed Josh and me, my younger cousin, the one that's my co-host on the podcast. Because that's another thing, I forgot to say that. Since I first started writing, I would always tell Josh, like, yo, you're going to write with me. He would be my ad-libs. And I would write it down for him. I'm like, yo, and you're going to dub. And I remember I would get so heated with him, so pissed off. Because I'd be like spitting some shit, and he'd be missing it. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Yo, you retarded? And he'd be like, nah, I got it. And I was so hard on him. And now, Joshy.
Damn, Joe Jackson.
Yo, dog, I was a mean-spirited kid, bro. Yo, the music is dark because I was dark, dog. I was a dark-ass kid. But him now, like, his flow is insane. Like, he's the reason I got good timing now. Because he would listen to shit that we would record and stuff like that and be like, yo, you got to be more like an instrument, bro. Like, you know, like your bars are on point, but you got to get in the beat.
The voice, your voice, you got to use it as an instrument.
Yeah,
Speaking on Josh,
Join the
F.A. the product.
F.A. the product.
The bars that he spit on.
Wait.
on
F.A.
Herder.
the daddy for a second time yesterday.
Oh, wow. Congrats.
Shout out.
Congrats.
I got my new niece, Emma John Robles. Let's do it.
Emma to Emily. My sister Emily just gave birth tonight.
Hey,
Yo,
what?
That's crazy.
Pisces
Yeah.
gang. Woo-hoo.
Word
I
up.
love this day.
Official.
Yo.
So speaking
Sorry
about
about
Josh, which is his musical name is F.A. the product. The bars he spit on that Herder joint you got for the Celeste album. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
The album title?
Celeste, the EP.
Yo,
Yep.
he murdered it. He murdered it, bro.
Last minute.
Yeah, that was good.
Last minute. When I did the Celeste EP, I did that whole EP in 9 days. And it was because, so that's the importance of what I was going to say earlier. When I said I was going to do Celeste, I had never done my own project. Right? I had never done my own project. First of all, I never wrote singing songs. I couldn't write. Rapping was my shit.
Mm-hmm.
I could sing some other person's song, but I didn't know how to structure it, how to do it. Thanks to like countless hours of listening to The Dream, who's like one of my biggest inspirations, I learned how to like get into the pocket of a singing song. And lo and behold, I started writing singing songs. And I had made a promise I was going to put that project out. And the girl whose birthday it was, who is Celeste, she was like, yo, when you going to do your album? That was like March of that year. I was like, oh, July 19th. And she's like, what? Is that a coincidence on my birthday? And I'm like, nah, I'm doing it on purpose. You know how it is, girl.
You trying to bag shorty? That's
Dog.
what it was?
Yeah. And I did.
All right.
So what ended up
It's a great
happening
strategy.
was, yo, it's
Word.
like July 6th. And she's like, whoa, can't wait to hear this album.
Oh shit, you forgot about
But
it.
I'm like, yo, damn, I'm not going to get no skins if I don't make this happen. Nick Howard, who I was saying before, he's cool with Con Boogie. I called Nick. I was like, yo, Nick, I need to get in the studio ASAP. I'm working on this. I got like 6 or 7 beats. I got to write these songs. And it literally was every day. I would write a song, record, write a song, record. And then being that was my first project, and Joshy's like my everything. Josh is my best friend, my brother, my more than a cousin. I was like, there's no way we started this journey together for all these years, and I'm not going to have Joshy be a part of this project. Because like I told you, I produced every beat on there. I wrote every song. I sang every lyric. Everything was me. I composed everything. And I didn't give him a chance to do his production shit. Like on Fior's Retard, he actually produced the 2 last tracks, right? So that was fine. But at that time, I was like, yo, I got to get Joshy in this project. I told him, like, yo, listen, I got this song called Herder. It's about this, yada, yada, yada. And he was like, I got you. Boom. Came into the studio, and I don't know if he had the verse from before or what. I just know in about 2 hours, boom, that verse was done. And when he finished, I was like, dog, you got the feeling.
And those 2, you said he produced the last 2 tracks on
Yeah.
Fior's Retard.
Strong and Grand Rising.
My favorite. Strong, my favorite. I can relate.
Yo,
You know
when
what
he
I'm
gave
saying?
me that beat, dog.
That beat is hard.
There's a good story about Strong, too, if we want to get into that project. That
Get it.
thing.
We're about to.
Going knee deep.
Want to go in?
Let's go.
Knee deep,
Alright, so-
baby.
Strong.
Well, I mean, before we even get to the
Yeah.
song, why'd you name it Fior's Retard? Obviously,
Fior's your
I'm
mom?
assuming Fior's your
That's
mom.
my mom, Fiordalisa. Fiordalisa Herminia Collado.
That didn't sound Spanish at all.
Nah, not at all, bro. Even the picture has a story behind it. So, obviously, I have a song called Mommy and Heidi, which was supposed to be on the
I
project,
heard that one.
but it didn't fit into what the storyline was, right? So I took it out and left it as a single. I always felt like a burden to my mom. Like one of my monikers is Fior's Burden, Heidi's Cross, because I feel like the two of them, like remember, my pops wasn't around, so my
Heidi's your
sister,
sister,
she's
right?
12 years older than me. That's my second mom. So those are like my parents, right? So I always feel like, yo, I can't do nothing right for them. Like they do so much for me, and I feel like, damn, I dropped the ball. So that was always my thing. So when this project came to mind, it was literally, I went through some shit February 26, 2020. I remember like yesterday, right? And that night, I felt like shit. I met up with my cousin Negi, who's Joshy's brother, who's also, again, like another part of my fucking heart. And I met with him, and he's like, yo, man, don't sweat this shit, bro. Do you know who you are, nigga? Like, come on, man. Da-da-da-da. But obviously, when you're going through shit, you're not thinking about that. And the next day, I called Jabron, King Sage, who I was talking about earlier. I said, yo, what you doing Friday? That was February 28th, 2020. I'm like, what you doing Friday? He's like, nothing, bro. You want to come to the studio? I was like, yeah, man. I got this song. I got to do this song. Bang. It was Sorry for the Wait. That beat originally wasn't even for me. So I was managing these 3
That shit is
Espanol.
hard. That shit is hard.
It is.
I like that
It
one.
wasn't for me. I don't ride those type of beats.
I like that
That's
joint.
not my type of music.
That's the one with the Chinx.
Yeah, Spirit of Chinx. And that's
Sorry for the wait.
Sorry for the wait. I named it Spirit of Chinx because of that reason. Like, that beat, I originally had another idea for this dude that does Spanish drill. So I was trying to, like, pull him away from the drill.
Drill?
Nah, yeah.
Shit.
Let's not start the
Stay
drill.
tuned for later.
Shit.
Ease drill rant is coming soon.
Coming soon.
Which, let's talk about it. We gonna talk about
We'll
it.
get to that.
But I was trying to pull him away from drill. I'm like, yo, Papa, look, this is somewhere drillish, right? Because it has some of the feeling of it, but it's more trap. And I was like, yo, this kid is a sick rapper. His name is Hollywood. He's from Corona. Like, dope.
Hollywood?
Hollywood. Like, Hotlywood. So Hollywood, but with a T in the middle. Okay. He's Dominican, you know. So he had, like, all these songs, and I was like, yo, get on this track. And he didn't do nothing with it. But that day, the day after, the 27th, I remember I'm like, and I call it Spirit of Chinx because I play that beat, and all I could think of was Chinx on that beat.
Oh.
Hence, if you hear my flow, everything about that song to me is a Chinx song, except on a serious level. Like, I don't know how people are familiar with Chinx or not. I'm deep into Chinx. I love Chinx. Pause. It just sounded crazy.
I was just getting, like, when he died, that's when I was like, I started getting into his shit.
After
when
he
he got
died?
killed. Yeah, when he got killed, that's when I started like listening to it.
I would hope.
Not like right before he got
Oh,
killed.
okay.
Like,
I would
not
hope that
after,
people
but,
listen
like,
now though because of that. Because yo,
He was he was
dog,
dope.
in
was
this
dope.
time
Really
is for
dope.
Chinx.
Yeah.
This time now, the way the music is rolling, the songs these kids make, I'm just like, yo, Chinx would body this era, body it.
Because if you listen to Chinx, even when he was fucking with stack bundles and shit like that.
That's why I started listening because of Stax.
Yeah.
Stax is one of my favorite rappers.
Stack was nasty.
Dog,
God.
Far Rockaway lost two
Yeah.
dudes that would forget about just Far Rock. They would put New York on the map because they had their own styles. Like that whole French shit you hear now, French Montana, that didn't start till he linked up with Chinx.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you see it all in his music. You see his imprint.
Even Jim Jones when he linked up with
Stax.
With Stax, yeah.
Yo,
that's when he really blew up.
Stax
as a
would
solo
talk
artist.
about that. Like Stax, if you watch the earlier DVDs, be like, yo, my man Chinx, when he comes out, yo, it's gonna
Yeah.
be crazy. This nigga comes with the crazy choruses, crazy hooks. And I'll be
Yeah.
like, yeah, Chinx. And I saw like a video once of them together. Chinx was like 17. And he's just there on the block. He goes, yeah, I'm coming.
Mad
Da-da-da-da.
Chinky.
Yeah, he got locked up.
Yeah.
And while locked up, obviously Stax gets killed. But that song, back to that song, it was like the spirit of Chinx. And I originally, so the second verse is actually the first verse that I wrote. Because I didn't have,
Flipped it,
sorry
man.
for the wait, sorry, I didn't have none of that. I just had the whole, what is it? Know yourself, know your heart, whatever. I can't remember right now. Sorry, my mind's blanking, nigga. But I had that whole part.
But it be like that. You could write something and you could structure it where it fits best later.
That was the thing.
You can
So
always do that.
when I wrote that, it felt like a good intro to come into the song, right? So I hit a Jabron. He's like, yo, come. That Friday I went and we're recording. I was like, know yourself, know your shit. And people trying to change you, tell them blow a dick. Some think I'm rude. I think I'm clear. I was literally speaking about somebody, like the person that caused that problem. And I remember going through and finishing that. And as I'm doing that, I was like, sorry for the wait, like talking to myself. Like, yo, sorry I waited so long to like show you that love. Sorry, I waited so long to see your value. Like all I could hear was Neggy in my head, like, yo, dog, you that nigga. Like, let him know. Da-da-da. On Clutch, I say it. Neggy told me, man up hand and let these niggas know. That was exactly what he told me. Yo, man up and let these niggas know. Dude, let them know who you are. So that came and I did sorry for the wait. And I remember telling Jabron, like, yo, push that to the second verse. I'm going to cut out the last 4 bars. And
Clutch wasn't on the EP, right?
No. Clutch is actually.
I was like, yo, because I remember hearing the song, but I'm like, yo, I don't remember seeing the list because I wrote the tracks on it. I'm like, I don't remember seeing Clutch on it.
Nah, Clutch is actually from my next project.
Yeah.
Which is called I'm Good, We Good. Right? And that one's going to be more so commercial type shit. Like just me having fun. Literally no storyline. I'm very structured in my music.
Yep.
Like,
nah, you can hear it.
Yeah, everything to me, again, I'm a storyteller. So the way I like shit to go together, that's why I listen to the Celeste EP now, and it irks me. Not even just because of the songs. There's like 2 songs I would never put on there. I ain't going to mention them. They're still all hot. But the sequencing, right? Like the story didn't line up the way it should have. That's why I was so anal with Fior's Budden. I was just like, yo, hold on. I got to take out this song. I got to take out that song. I got to create this song to now make it bridge right. Like that whole shit was just like exactly how I saw it in my head.
No, definitely the Fior's Retard has a cohesiveness to it. You know what I mean? But you're very ballsy, especially now in this era, using that R word.
Fior's Retard stands for Mommy Special Child. So,
Okay.
but I knew using that word, it strikes attention.
Yup.
People are going to be like,
That's nice. That's
yo,
nice.
there's people that won't repost my shit just because of that title.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. Like, I live for that shit, right? Because everything I do is for me and for my daughter. So even like when I do music, like, you know, I've gotten people hit me up like, yo, bro, like this shit is fire. Like, I didn't know you could do this. I'm like, yeah, I always do this. Like this is that 10,000 hour shit, right? You may not hear me do a song for 5 years, and I'm sure you guys can attest to it, the same thing. But, bro, I write daily. Maybe I'm not writing on a pad, right? But when I'm in the car and some shit is playing, I'm kicking my verse over this new shit. I'm like, I'll kill these motherfuckers. Like, da, 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 da. I'm always on practice mode, always. And if not, I'm whipping out the phone, writing. So it looks to people like, wow, you've gotten so much better, man, since I heard you in 2011, right? And I'm like, nah, this has been steady work, right? So, yeah, I have no idea why I got into that, but
Yo,
let's go.
Rob, I know you wanted to. We were talking off camera about his song Historia.
La
historia entre tus
balada.
dedos.
You gotta tell a story about behind that.
All right.
You was getting your Marcos Antonio Solis.
Yo. Actually,
Honestly, I was a little.
Joey
I couldn't tell if it was the
Somebody made a mistake.
I don't know the real artist, but I know the song, right? Like
Yes.
a lot of music.
Marco Salu? No,
No, it's Giancarlo. It's actually some like Italian dude, believe it or not. It's some Italian dude that wrote a song in Spanish. And
but it's
very,
been remade.
It's
though.
been remade like 17 times,
yeah.
right? My
So I
favorite
know
one is the salsa one by I think it's Gilberto Santa Rosa, which is
Antonio Solis did one.
Michael
so
Antonio must
he did a
have.
cover.
No hay nada más difícil que vivir sin ti. That's one I wanted to do. I have this other project that's been in the works forever, bro. That's where that song is for that project, and it never got completed. Like in Gibran's studio, there's like 5 Spanish cover songs done, and I have a project called Songs Pa Tu Madre, right? Like a joke, like this is for your mother because these are the songs.
Güey.
Yeah, Pa Tu Madre, güey. But I have mariachi shit. Juan Gabriel is one of my favorite artists of all time.
Yeah,
One of my favorite singers,
Yo.
writers. His pen is
Definitely, yo.
ridiculous. I can say I write how I write because of Juan Gabriel. Like to this day, yo. I know you guys have Droids, but Apple at the end of the year, or even Spotify, they send you the
That's
whole.
crazy. We all
list.
do have Androids.
Yeah,
That's 3, right?
Yo,
Yeah,
I watched the show, bro.
The Android boys.
Chris acts like I don't watch the show because Chetty's like, nah, yo, Hanson don't be talking about no hip hop advocates. I watched the show. Chris told me he's like, yo, we do this thing, man. I don't know if you're ready. It's called Show and Prove.
Yeah. I was like, I'll
want
send
you
you
to
a
give me
clip
top 5, you know?
so you can see how it is. And he's like, nigga, I watched it. What are you talking about?
Clip.
But you know what? Honestly, I assume nobody watches it because it be like that, honestly. Some people just get the clips that we do on Instagram. People be busy. They don't be watching the show. It's fine. I'm not going to get upset. I never get upset over
You
that.
can't. You cannot. One thing I will say about even with music, like I removed that emotional attachment of believing you owe me anything.
Yep.
Right? Like I used to make music, and I remember Joshy can tell you that I had beef with one of my cousins. We didn't speak for like 4 years because I tore his ass up on a song. Because we were the younger kids. They were like 10 years older than us. And one time we wanted to borrow their mic to record this song. They had gotten this new microphone and shit, and my cousin Buddha hits him up. Like, yo, I'm going with Handsome and Joshy. We're going to the studio. Yo, could we borrow that mic you have? And he's like, not them little niggas. You crazy? We ain't giving them a mic.
Man.
We got to bless it first. And, you know, that day, I'm 21 at the time, so you know that shit don't rub you, right? I'm just like, little nigga. Like, have you heard your verses compared to mine, fam?
Wow.
You like 10 years older than me, and I will light you up, bro.
Some LL Cool J
Yeah.
cannabis shit
But
right
I
there.
stayed cool. But that day we go to the studio, I had to drop a fucking line or something, like some kind of shit. You know what I
Una
mean?
tiradera.
I got
That's
shit
what it
like
was.
that.
Una puya.
I got shit.
You
where
got
I
to.
I had a situation with one of my cousins where I've written about it. Like it was a point where I was writing about it too much. Like right, like I was, you know, like a lot under the street lights. Like I'm talking, you know, I was writing too much about it. I was like, yo, I gotta get the fuck out of that. Like,
Yo, who the fuck is it, man? I don't know.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Nah, I'm gonna talk about that. But nah, this is all good.
But
Now,
it was justified because what he did was fucked up.
No, it
Oh,
was.
never
And
mind.
it was, but you know, that's how I felt at the moment. Like I was expressing how I written. Like I really
That's
felt
your journal.
like yeah. That's what writing is. That's what, you know, when you create, you're writing about how you really feel. That's why I like a lot about your fucking your album.
It's all a journal.
There's
Bro.
a lot of personal shit on. Then we'll get to that.
It's
we'll
all
get to that
personal.
later on. In the
Yeah, like I
episode.
mentioned.
Yeah.
Strong.
Strong
Shit
strong
right there,
chocolate.
But hold
I
up,
love
we didn't
Strong.
get finished talking about.
We all over the place, but that's how it is
Eh,
when you're dealing with me.
Mi historia entre tus dedos.
Mi historia entre tus dedos. So that
Like
is
how
from
that came about. 'Cause we
Yo,
didn't
that shit
finish on
sounds like a ill porno.
Yo,
My history with fingers.
Yo, hey,
Historia
yo.
de la leche.
De los dedos. Damn, what you doing with them fingers, kid?
Yo. Anyway,
Yo, that song was.
that's how I
heartwarming.
kept her.
It was hard. It was warm soul.
Yo, that's apple pie, bro. Nah, when I heard you singing like that, bro, I was
Yeah.
like, yo, this dude is nasty.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Because I don't know you like that. I
Yeah.
know you in a way where like we're mad cool. I know you with the show, with your show. I know you just chilling, but I
just talk
don't
shit.
know you like that. And when I heard you like that, I felt proud. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's my nigga.
Yo,
You
shout
know?
out to E. E found it and threw it on the chat.
threw it on the
Like,
chat.
yo,
We were all
Yo,
jamming it.
I was like, y'all niggas hear this shit?
Is
I was
this
like,
him?
yo, is that this nigga or is that the actual artist who sung this shit?
Oh, thanks, man.
That shit, that's all good. Like it really sounded good. Like
It was
And
we
what
gotta
I-
find like we want to
I
find a way
sang
to
that
like
shit with pain, bro.
we gotta put that out like in a story or something like so people could just get a glimpse, you know, and put the link,
Do it.
the YouTube link. Boom. Why? I be doing. That's what I do. I like directing niggas to the good shit that's good.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you.
Head him to the source. Word.
But what inspired you to do? What inspired you to do? Like, you know, because you're talking about got a whole.
I'm a singer before anything. Right?
Well, that's
So
a cover song.
So the way it came about is like, yo, I can't write Spanish music, which actually now I actually wrote one. It's a new song that's gonna be on my next singing EP, which is called Marie. It's the follow up to Celeste. I got mad shit going on.
Celeste and Marie.
So when I did it, it was just me getting my vocal practice in. And then one day I was, yo, you know what? Let me go record this shit. Pa, pa, pa. Then I recorded Te Sigo Amando by Juan Gabriel. Then I recorded Julio Iglesias, Si Me Dejas No Vale. Then I just kept recording these Spanish songs. I only put that one out thus far because I was like, yo, you know what? Let me keep it till the project comes out. And I never did it. I'm still working on it. Let
me ask you, when you're doing a song like that, right? Because I don't know about singing. Like, do you layer it? Like, is it layered?
You have to.
Yeah.
Like more than obviously more than a like a rap verse.
You triple,
do
maybe sometimes quadruple.
Yeah, it just depends on what like. They're literally, like I say, with Mi Historia Entre Tus Dedos, like the actual hook is I think about 6 or 7 different layers, right? But what ends up happening is I'm big on like spectrum. Like I want the thing to just sound like all over the place and shit. So I'll have the engineer put one really low and just like pan it this way, pan this one this way, pan this one this. But I sing so on key that you almost can't tell the difference. But that layer is what gives it its thickness.
Yeah. You talking like an engineer right now because that when you pan it this way that way, it gives it that fullness.
Correct.
Especially when you hear it in your headphones, it's such a joyful thing to hear.
That's what I want to hear at all times.
And you also said that you went to school for engineering, right?
I have a degree in recording engineering.
It gives her that thickness for the speaker penetration.
Yeah. I mean, listen,
The thickness?
I like
Hey you.
I like what I like this new generation, right? Where you know how we always dubbed our tracks?
Yeah.
Like they just go in that one
They
take
just
shit.
do
There's
one
no dubbing,
one layer.
Yo, sitting down.
Oh,
Sitting
yeah.
down,
Sitting
bro.
Dog,
down.
I saw Big Sean the other day, who's one of my favorite rappers, just because his flow. I saw him do that. He was just like, yeah, man, I'm a damn, and I'm like, damn, dog, you can do that sitting down. Like I can't. Like
Yeah.
I need to be. I'm in the action, right? Like I'm in the microphone and going in. Like it's just different for me. But I guess they make it work.
Yo, Figs,
Yo,
are these young whippersnappers getting lazy on us? Sitting down doing a verse?
Yo, it's unheard
Or
of.
is it just...
It's unheard of to us. Like we couldn't even fathom the thought of just sitting down and spinning a verse. But you got to think about the generation, the new era. You didn't even need studios. They could do that in their crib with a laptop and the mic is next to the computer. So while they're uploading, they could just bop, record and upload it. Everything's instant, baby. Instagram, instant gratification.
I got one for you guys.
Talk it.
One of the best lyricists of all time in my book. Fucking, I still don't. I think if he was alive, like he would be levels ahead of so many people. But Big Pun.
Pun. He used to,
Pun used to sit.
He's right
But
there.
that's-
He's right there. He's in the back.
He had no choice.
He had no choice. That was health issues.
Yo, I worked
physically.
at Fuerte Music Group, right? So
Yeah.
they were originally Rich Isaacson from Loud Records owned Fuerte Music Group, and he would tell me all these stories about like Remy and Pun, and he's like, yo, his last few days were so sad. He's like, he would literally sleep in the studio on this like big ass couch that they had for him, and that's how he recorded.
Yeah,
Like he would
couldn't get up.
sleep there, knock out, get up, and just and do his thing. Like he's like, yo, it was almost like outer body experience to see him rap because you would see this guy literally almost dying, like can't breathe, and like engineer would hit the freaking record button, and it was like whoosh, life.
He loved
no
it.
breathing, just like
Passion.
and then sleep.
Another person talking about dubbing and all that. He used to triple his rhymes, his verses.
Yeah.
And he would do it exactly the same. The first take, third take, and he would just quadruple his verses. That's why it sounds so thick.
I was like how you could hear his like...
Yeah, he would.
You
Especially on the second album.
Yeah, you heard it more. You heard it more on the Baby.
He was already like 700 pounds.
He had just bounced back in weight. Remember, he lost weight prior to that.
Right.
But he used to
I
say,
didn't hear
man,
none of that on your album.
oh, breathing.
Yeah.
Nah.
The
I was actually
production
in better
and the
shape.
engineering and the mixing, on point, bro.
Yo,
Yeah.
anybody?
That Sorry
really
for the
good.
Wait is my favorite. That's my favorite
Sorry
joint.
for the
Yo,
Wait.
thanks, man.
Yeah.
That's actually, I would say, Strong. I love Strong. Like to me,
Strong,
nothing
yeah.
compares to Strong that I've even done before, except for one song that wasn't released as a singing song. But strong is that. But to me, yeah, like Sorry for the Wait is probably my favorite to hear on my own project. Like Sorry for the Wait, I enjoy hearing it every
It's
time.
a fun track.
Yeah, I really like that one a lot.
And
But I
you-
want to save that conversation for later.
Uh-oh.
But strong. You mentioned manic depression.
Yeah, story of my life, bro. I was diagnosed with manic depression, which what people call now bipolar disorder,
Right.
when I was 12.
What?
And it was in school. Like, I didn't even know. Like, you're a kid. You don't understand what's going on. But, dude, I was a dark-ass fucking kid.
You
and
slapping the teacher?
Nah, not at all. I was just, like, in my head all the time, bro. And I would be like,
in the class.
everybody hates me.
I used to do that.
But I think we all grew up like that. We all had that. You know,
Yeah,
we all had
to
that.
an extent,
To an
right?
extent.
Like, it would really, like, I was a very smart kid, thank God, right? Like, because I was a pain in the ass. So that was always on, like, my report cards, always talks out of line, gets up. They almost thought, like, I had, like, fucking ADHD or some shit. Because I'd be like, all right, I got to go pee. And go pee. Yeah, bro, because I'd be like, don't worry, you got to wait. So, to me, that was unheard of. Like,
yeah,
wait.
I hated that shit.
My
about
bladder's
school.
about to explode. Peace. Like, you know, and I would get up, but then my grades were astronomical. So it was like, what the fuck? What's up with this kid? Something's wrong. But I got diagnosed with that. And thankfully, my mom, who also, like, that's why strong, that's everything you hear on this project, I tell people, is true story to the T. I didn't find out all that shit about the brujeria placed on her while she was pregnant until I was like in my mid-20s. Right? Because you start searching for answers after a while. Like, yo, why am I like this? Like,
You hear stories, yeah.
yeah, and I'm
About
like,
shit
this and that.
You're going to even think
Family
about.
says shit, and you just don't pay attention to it, right? And then at one time in your life, like I say, Joshy's mom, my cousin Josh. So Joshy's my second cousin. His mother, Mary, is my first cousin, but she's 20 years older than me. I'm the boo-boo baby. I came out
Yo,
like,
that's some
way later.
Dominican shit or not?
What?
Some Dominican shit or not?
No.
I heard it was. Do you hear Primo Supreme?
Yeah.
No.
Something was there.
I would pre-meet Mary, though. Josh is going to be so tight for that one.
I heard first cousin, second cousin.
No, Joshy's my second cousin because he's Mary's son. But being that we're in the same age bracket, I grew up with Joshy. Like, I didn't grow up with my older cousins. I saw her more as an aunt, right? But she would tell me wild shit when I was like 13 and 14. Like, yo, I don't know how your mother's friends with like my father's wife and shit. That fucking bitch, she used to do this and that. And I used to be like, Edie's? She's crazy. My father's wife is great. You know what I mean? Like, shit that I didn't know. And I found out in my 20s the true story.
Yeah.
So that's one of them. And my mother, when I was diagnosed, you know, she was big. At that time, Prozac was the shit to put kids on. And mommy was like, I ain't putting him no drugs. He likes music. He's going to do music. And my mother really pushed on me like, yo, just sing. Sing. Start writing music. Doing your thing.
Express yourself.
Yeah, and that became my avenue, right? Like my vent. So I never, thank God. I'm not against medication. If you need medication, go do it. Some people really do. It's a hormonal imbalance. Kanye,
Oh
go
my
get your meds.
God,
I mean,
Kanye.
I really hope he's just doing it for marketing. But at this point, I don't think he is. But if you need medication, do it. I'm not against medication, right? But I'm glad I didn't have to do it. And I learned throughout life how to deal with my shit. And music was one of those avenues. So when I say I'm a Confessions of a Manic Depressant, that's my, since 2011, one of my hashtags was COAMD, which is Confessions of a Manic Depressive. That was the first album I really wanted to make. But that's always been like a tag of mine. Like that's what I call my music, hand hop, right? Like it's hip hop, but it's handsome hop. So I've always had that and that. So that's why in the beginning you see a Confessions of a Manic Depressant. Like all those voices as well, those were me.
Good fix. You got that
you know
liquid
what I mean?
nitrogen popping?
What the fuck is that?
I thought you was
Yeah, you
mixing.
got
I
some
thought you
liquid
was
nitrogen
mixing
popping.
fucking
That shit's
champagne
gonna
with the
explode
bourbon.
on you,
What's
bro.
liquid nitrogen?
That's what I sell for a living. You heard? Let me
Yo,
smoke it up.
no, nigga, pour me some liquid nitrogen, bro.
It's just,
Nigga fake trying to give me some. Yo, give me some liquid nitrogen.
Nah, you don't want that.
you don't want that.
Nah, come
You don't want
on.
that,
We
bro.
don't invite. We don't
You
give that
don't
to the
even-
guests. We don't
Is it
invite.
mixed with like
Oh,
Molly?
man.
We need you to be
You want
coherent.
Molly?
You got Molly?
You want?
Yo, after the
know
show,
it, though.
Molly
Hold on.
session coming, you bitch
Hold
ass.
on.
I'll be drinking that Molly water. But yo, that's dope, man. How do you cope? It's hard to cope with that, man, because you
It
know,
is. It's lifelong.
we've dealt with that. With we have family members. We are that they deal with that shit, and we see it, and it must be it must be tough. It must be tough, man. And you doing music, that's an outlet. You know what I'm saying? That I'm pretty sure that suppresses. You know what I'm saying? your
Listen,
condition.
Presses the
No,
compression.
no matter what, it's always there.
On the
Right?
brain.
It's not like it just stops. What I learned, again, that's why I do a lot of fucking self-help shit, like the self-book. I'm very self-aware. I do a lot of deep dives into myself. And I started that somewhere like in my mid-20s. Because I was like, yo, this can't be normal. Like, there's no way on God's green earth I got to be this fucking off the wall. Pisces are not. Pisces are fucking nutcases. But I was like, this zodiac shit ain't going to be the reason I'm like this. Like, I got to figure something the fuck out.
I think when you're too caught up deep into your own thoughts and you don't
Express them.
express them, and get into other shit outside, like just not just being home, fucking watching TV, or listen to music, other shit outside of that, fucking running, jogging, something that just opens your mind out more. That helps a lot.
Yo, most of this album, I wrote it while walking. So in the summertime, that's what I do. Mind you, this is pandemic time, right? So there wasn't shit to go. You couldn't go anywhere. I go on like these 4 miles an hour. So I do like these 2 to 3 hour walks where I just fucking disappear, right? But while doing that is where I write.
We have a lot of questions about the album.
Yeah, let's get
But
to
right
it.
now, there's another question.
Oh, burning.
There's a question that's burning right now. Like,
What's up?
It's burning more than the liquid nitrogen he's drinking, yo.
What?
Every time we
fucking
have
nitrogen.
a guest on this platform, we want to know the top 5. So right now, I think it's time,
I
fellas.
think it's time.
Yo,
about that
time for the
time.
top 5.
Greatest of all time. Check it out, y'all.
Yo, but hold up. Before we give you the top 5,
Yo, this is a message from the hip hop advocates.
From my good friends at Infinity.
You do it all without breaking a sweat. Like being a boss exec to Tuesday tennis to homework. Why do the kids have so much homework? Family dinners, lunches, brunches, trips to the vet, and a weekend getaway that's anything but a getaway. And you do it all in style. Even when you have back-to-back conference calls on top of the kids' orchestra recitals, not to mention your side hustle. That's why we created the fully reimagined Infiniti QX60. A luxury SUV as functional as it is stylish, and as versatile as it is serene. With premium features like a panoramic moonroof, ample cargo space, and available massaging front seats to bring the ease of luxury to your everyday. Introducing the all-new Infiniti QX60, designed to help you take on life and all the chaos it may come with, in style. Learn more at InfinityUSA.com. Now with extremely limited availability, contact your local retailer for inventory information.
Giving y'all the best.
As we go a little something like this.
All right, so let's start with Chinx. I think Chinx, like I said, has a very big influence, not only on that track, but like I said, I've always been a person that I'm about the lyrics, right? Like I'm about the content. I'm big on that. But the music side of it, like making it musical, making it melodic, never really mattered much to me, which was the opposite of a person growing up in Brooklyn. Like, if Queens is heavy on lyrics. Like, your bars got to be on point. Brooklyn's all about flow and style. Like, it was always like, yo, you're more stylistic and shit like that. I was like the opposite.
Wow, I had never heard it broken down that way.
It's the truth. Like,
listen.
look at the people. Look how people obsessed with like a Biggie and a Jay. Yeah, they had bars. Nobody's gonna question the bars, but that shit was more flow, styles, cons. Nas
Sean
just
P.
came at your fucking neck with lyric bars. Mobb
Yeah,
Deep,
you think
bars,
about
bars.
it, like Sean P,
that's their
Helter
shit.
Skelter. That was flow. Sean P was flow. He had bars, but it was.
Nah, they had bars like the whole like Buckshot, all shit, like Group
yeah,
Home. All these
Group
people had
Home.
bars, but they weren't popular, right? Because what was popular, what really popped for us was your flow had to be somewhat up there. Like people cared so much about your style. Everything was so stylistic, as opposed to
Biggie's like the poster boy for that.
that's it.
His lyrics didn't hit that hard, but his flow hit hard.
That's
I
it.
don't think we want to get into his lyrics right now.
Nah,
No. Keep going.
Nah, yeah, we ain't getting disrespectful, right? While I'm here.
We got Chinx in the building.
All right, so
Rest in
Chinx,
peace.
I credit him a lot for just me being more melodic, like me being stretching out of in rap, right? Like just being more melodic, being able to not. Sorry for the wait. I was on the chase. Like that's not my normal thing.
That sounds like
and,
Chinx.
and it sound and one of my favorite songs from Chinx sounds similar to that. I can't remember the name, but
Yeah.
I know the hook.
And it's your favorite.
Sing the hook.
Give a fuck about your
I
feelings.
can't even remember the fucking hook right now. Now under pressure, it'll come.
That's what it is, yo. Once the camera's on, that's why I blanked out my own fucking lyrics earlier.
Word out.
Number
All
2.
right, so we got Chinx. Let's
Number
get to the
2, I
second
spoke
one.
about it earlier, Slick Rick. Like, I'd be a damn liar to not say, like, look,
The ruler.
who hasn't, right? Like, if you look at everybody after that, like, I know people give Kane, I'm a Brooklyn boy, so I would love to give Kane all the credit for being the first dude, being, like, the braggadocio. No. Slick Rick, dog. Slick Rick had that, like, style to his shit. He talked shit like no other. His storylines was just all on point, and you see a lot of it. There's no wonder, like, Nas and Biggie, their favorite rapper was Slick Rick, right? Like, you could see it in their music, right?
Yep.
Like, Nas is a storyteller. Biggie used to tell stories all the time. And that's, I think, where I became obsessed with having context to, like, my lyrics, right? Like, making sure I'm telling you something while I'm saying it. I can still do the shit talking. I have fun doing that. I got some, like Clutch. Clutch ain't a storyline. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was just me having a good time.
It's rappity rap.
But
It sound
it's
sound
so
like a
hard for
Drake
me to do
track,
that.
Like it sound like a single.
Yeah.
Like that forever.
I
Forever
struggle with that
Traveling
shit,
Drake,
bro.
You know?
Bonitillo is a struggle for me to do those kind of songs where it's like just fun. Like, it's like, nah, I want to give you pain, fam. Yo, you know what I've been through?
That's some Mary J. Blige shit.
Yeah, bro. Like, everything is dark.
You need it. I gotta give you a.
Well, your
concept.
production and your beats,
Betrayal rap.
your production and your beats.
Yo,
feel
you know
dark.
what?
They
Betrayal
feel
rap.
dark. A lot of piano beats you got.
Yeah.
And they do have that dark tone. The dark / conscious type of beats is your preferred
Yeah.
on all albums.
But that's why I need an outside ear. Right, like that's why this project I kept it personal. I didn't play it to anybody in my circle. The only ones that heard the project through and through were me and Jabron, me and the engineer, right? Because I wanted my family and friends. I wanted to see what they felt like going for that 24-minute ride, telling that story from the moment Rags to Rain hits, from when we feel that first hand until you hear the freaking last prayer. Like I wanted you to go on that trip. And talking about betrayal rap, Cormega. Cormega at a time when I was in my early teens, that's my favorite rapper. Like, my favorite rapper is Cormega, even to this day. Like,
The realness.
I'm fiending for the realness, too, right now. Like,
It's coming out.
what?
It's
Yeah, he's
supposed
working
to.
on it. He got Nas on there, baby.
Wow.
Finally, right? Like, they finally did a track together for Mega, obviously, because they did the shit on King's Disease.
Yeah, King's Disease.
You know, that was kind of like pieced together, so it bothered me. But it was good. It was good.
Yeah,
Mega.
Yeah.
But Mega's an interesting story, too, because mind you, like I said earlier, how I got into Mega, that's going to be a long story. But long story short, obviously Affirmative Action was the first time that I really heard him, right? And like I said, I'm a
That's when
Brooklyn
the masses
boy,
heard
so
him.
I didn't know much about that. Like, I came to know Nas by mistake. Like, I did It Was Written before I did Illmatic. I never heard of Illmatic in my life, right? I
That must
ended
have
up,
been amazing for you.
of course, like I told you, I'm like, it was like summer of 95. So what I had to be 11. I went to the bootlegger. Mommy's doing her nails in Linden Bully. And I went to get Tikal. Like, I went to get the Tikal
Nice.
bootleg.
Method Man.
Yeah, Method Man, Tikal album. So,
Nice.
Not to count the. No, I'm thinking about
the original,
Judgment
dude.
Day. I'm thinking about Judgment Day.
They
Nah,
2000?
That's, that's way
that was
deeper.
like 2000.
That's when I stopped listening to them.
Yeah.
I knew Chetty's going to
That
tell
was
you
a dope
that.
album too, man.
Nah, it was.
That shit
I
had
like
like
it.
27.
We
bars.
like the
It
different
smells like
songs on
fish.
there, bro.
But, yeah, that shit.
I love that track though.
Yo, Chetty hates
I
all
love
the good
it. I
ones.
hate it. What the fuck?
I love that
Anyway,
beat.
I go get Tikal, and Tikal's there. This is I know it's gonna be weird to people, but Brown Sugar, the D'Angelo album is there, and I was so into like D'Angelo.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like
He had-
struggling.
on that album, he has an ill track with him.
Tikal or Brown Sugar? And I'm like looking, and I guess like the African dude saw I was struggling, and he was like, "If you buy 2, you get 1 free." And I was like, "Oh, look at this!
Double
I'm
up.
getting these 2 right here. Oh, Street Fighter soundtrack. I'll get that. I love Street Fighter the
The
movie."
album.
Yo, there was a soundtrack.
This
to
is my
that shit?
mind, bro. This is how my mind works. The Street Fighter soundtrack, but
Who was on that shit?
Nas.
No, the movie.
On the
movie
Street Fighter?
Nas was
Yeah,
on
the
the
90,
Street.
because they came out in 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one with Van Damme.
Yo, Van Damme died at the end of the movie, man.
Yeah?
Was it
Guy
Van Damme?
wouldn't
No,
die.
no. Bison died
Yeah.
in real
During
life.
that
in real
filming,
life.
yeah.
Well, Bison was a bad
Raul
guy.
Julia.
Yeah.
Bison was the head. He was the top bad guy.
That's how I ran into Nas, though, dude. It was a song in there called Imagine This, No Guns, No Knives, Just a One-on-One where we got to fight. And I remember being like, who is this Nas? I like this shit. This shit is
Nas.
fucking dope. And I'm like, that's what I read his name. I'm 11 years old. Nas. Fucking about 3 months later, AZ drops Do or Die. And who's on there? Nas. So I'm like, oh, look at this guy, Nas. I like this Nas guy.
Here he goes again.
Yo, and then
Nasty Nas.
well, he wasn't nasty at this time. He was just Nas.
Oh man.
And my cousin Nelson, who I spoke about earlier with the whole like Raychester shit.
Yeah.
He lived in Corona, so I'll come in. He's like, yeah, you don't know Nas? This is it was written, man. This shit is fire. Da-da-da. I hear affirmative action. I hear AZ on it. I'm going hype. Da-da-da. Then I hear Mega mention the hit Dominican spots and steal bricks.
Ooh.
I'm a kid, so I didn't look at it as a bad way. Like hit Dominican spots. I'm like, he mentioned Dominicans.
Dominican.
Yo, I like this guy.
Oh, shit.
And that's it. That's all it took. I think about a year later came Fuck Nas in Nature by Cormega. And then May 19th, 1998, I bought the DMX album. It's Dark and Hell is Hot.
So that's your 4th one right there?
I was I was early on that shit. They had the Survival of the Illest sampler, and Cormega had a song called Testament on there. And that made me a mega fan.
Wow,
it was
Testament,
deep.
yeah.
Dog,
Testament.
it was deep. So mind you, like I said earlier, I'm a freaking kid that when you don't grow up with your dad, that's why hip hop is so important to me. And I think people don't understand that about music. Like, obviously, thankfully, you guys got good fathers and shit like that. And my dad's a cool fucking guy. He's not a bad person. But he wasn't there. Music was that for me. I learned how to be a man. I learned principles listening to Cormega and his betrayal rap. Like, that shit to me taught me, yo, how to be a stand-up nigga. Like, it was like, yo, you know what? You can't do this. You can't do that. That's what Mega said, bro.
Yeah.
That's what, and Tupac said that same exact thing too. Something very similar.
Yeah.
He's like, my daddy wasn't there, but he mentioned somebody. He's like, yo, he said you grab your nuts and you talk with your chest out, and he said it kind of like the same way you did. Yo, that's ill, man.
To me, that was that. Like, that's why music is so important. People underrate it. So is that 3 already?
That's 3 right there. We got
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden.
Joe motherfucking Budden.
Mood music.
Yeah.
Mood music.
Nah.
I can't.
Not the
I'm not
podcaster.
hating on it. Yeah, not the podcaster.
Not the podcaster. Joe Budden, the original person that made me feel open enough to talk about like my depression and shit. Right?
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
Joe Budden, I was 18, had this mixtape out called The Best of Joe Budden. So it was at this car dealership, and I heard him again through a sampler on Def Jam. It was a Def Jam sampler, and he had this song, and his voice stood out to me. Then he had a freestyle with Fabulous, and his bars just like stood out to me. But it was like punchline shit. So then one day, my cousin Nelson, same Nelson, his friend had a auto dealership type shit, and he's like, yo, isn't that Joe Budden guy you listen to? Like, they have a CD that's called The Best of Joe Budden. And I was like, a best of? This Budden got like 3 songs. How you got a best of? Later, I found out that was his marketing strategy. Like, to make you think, like, oh, this is a best of? I got to cop this.
Yeah.
But it was just his first mixtape. And, you know, songs are fire, but then he has a song called Calm Down on there, which was like, not Calm Down, I'm sorry. Calm Down came afterward. It was the Tears, Thug Cries. So it was a sample of How Could You Just Leave Me Standing, the Prince song, alone. And he's talking about his father not being there and like waiting with a basketball for his pops to come. And then later on meeting a brother he didn't even know he had that lived literally like a mile away that his pops had on the side, like crazy shit like that. And I was like, wow. Listen to his music. He talked depressive shit. That's when I finally stopped doing like you know, you're rapping, right? Like when I said that first song I did, Use a Bitch with Alexi and them, even that song was personal. I was like dissing this fucking kid from 111. After
Damn, I'm
that,
from 111. Who you was dissing on 111?
Jason Fabian. He lived on 111 and 43rd Ave.
Damn.
And we're cool now, though.
All right. Cool, that's good.
He did some grimy shit, and I wanted to hurt him really bad, and he kept running away.
Kid shit, man.
So I
Kid
said, fuck
shit.
it. You think you can rap? I'm
Talking
coming
about Joe Budden, man. I gotta be honest. I got put onto Joe Budden's because it's Tahiri's ass. Really. That's really why.
I definitely was into Joe Budden when he first came out. Like listening to his shit, he was really dope. You know, I think his opinions what drove
He
me
used to
away
record
from him.
that shit himself. He had
His
his own. He
opinions,
was the
like,
first one
towards
to
other
do all that
people.
shit.
I'm still
You know,
thinking
maybe that's
about
the
that
problem
ass.
with doing that.
Nah, like I said, the podcasting shit, I still love him podcasting as well.
But
But
he's
as
really good at
as
it.
a rapper, I'm sorry, niggas don't really. If you hear Joe Budden shit, his fucking pen is stupid. It's stupid.
Nah, he is,
the
he
man
is.
is lyrical. Like that's why that Slaughterhouse shit falling apart was such a big deal to like Joel Ortiz and Crooked Eye, because they're like, bro, what are you doing? Like we're the bar servers. Like that's what we do.
It's beyond the shit. Like these dudes really wanted to do it for the music. Like,
Yeah.
that's what it was about. You know, Joe Budden was.
Joe Budden got
beyond
burned,
that.
B.
Nah, was
He got
beyond
burned so many times that at one point And that's scary to me, right? Like, imagine being that burned that you don't even want to create.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure he's still in his phone fucking right.
Yeah, I'm
Nobody
There's
stops
no way
creating.
when you're an MC,
You
and
can't
really
be that
like
ill,
creating
man.
it, yeah, there's nothing that's gonna take you away from that.
What's the longest you guys stopped without making music? That you could think in your mind, like, what period?
Well, recording?
Yeah.
Like actually recording? I mean, I went like 7-8 years without fucking even touching them.
Did you ever stop writing, though?
But nah, I was like you said, like driving. You know, I hear fucking shit. I'm like rapping over what the fuck I'm hearing because I like the fucking, you know, when I'm hearing, I get inspired. Like
I got a better flow for this shit.
That shit never stop.
As a rapper, you feel you're better than everybody you hearing. Like, I know I'm fucking nice. Like, I don't question it. I never had any doubt in my head. But like I said before, I make my music for me.
Yeah.
Supposed to as
changed
an
for me.
MC, you have to.
But yeah, like if you don't got confidence, bro, enjoy your life. Like,
All right. So Handsome, let's regroup. Let's take it back. What number we at?
we got Chinx. We got Slick Rick. We got Core motherfucking Mega Montana. We got Joe Beezy.
Yeah.
And number 5, The Dream. The Dream, definitely The Dream, man. The Dream. A lot of people don't listen to his music. They don't know. All you hear is like the Beyonce songs and shit like that.
Dream. Who the hell is that?
Dream.
Exactly.
Dream is he's one of the illest
Shorty
writers.
was a 10.
He wrote a lot of music,
10.
too, for a lot of big artists.
Anything you hear from Beyonce as a hit, from Rihanna, Umbrella, he wrote Umbrella.
He wrote a lot of
To the
fucking
Left,
hits.
To the Left, he wrote that shit. Who Run the World? Girls.
He
wrote
married
that shit.
Christina Milian and then banged her best friend.
Yeah. After
Yeah,
having a baby.
That's a
with
dream.
her. That's what he does,
That's a
bro.
dream.
That's a
Yeah,
Virgo.
yeah.
He's very like.
Is
All
that,
the
is that how his dream turned into a nightmare?
That sounds like a nightmare.
But him.
He sold 1 billion records based on what he wrote. That's a true memory.
No lie. That's what
But
stood out, man.
The man's pen game. Again, I love writers, though. I'm
For some
big on
reason,
writers.
I'm confusing him with The Weeknd.
Yeah, that's probably why.
I
'cause
love The Weeknd. They do that. Like, so,
They're similar.
Fahid looks like
And
the
they
dream.
Came out, they came
yeah,
out
everybody
Fahid.
spoke that. The Hamburglar.
He looks like Fahid.
Fahid looked like the dream at one point, yo. I don't know if he still does, but he used to.
Nah, he did
when
before,
he was
though.
younger. Continue, though. That was your number 5.
That's my number 5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Official. And that makes sense because you do have the singing and the harmonizing aspect heavy, you know?
Yeah, and
I
I,
like the
I
list,
translate
man.
what I hear, right? Like I said, if I look at now, even putting that out there, looking at those 5 people, I'm like, yo, you know what? It makes sense, right? Because I could hear it in every track. I could tell you where I did this or where
What
I did
was
that.
ill about your list? And none of those artists that you just mentioned in
similar.
your top 5. Yeah, and not that they're not similar, but there's nothing that nobody's ever mentioned here. I don't think any one of those artists, anybody's mentioned any one of them here.
Yo, you win a special
Nobody.
prize for that.
Yo, nobody
At the end of
mentioned
the
the
show.
Dream.
And that is Handsome's top 5. Yeah. Top 5. You heard it.
Adolescent, manic, depressing, nobody understood. Years trying to hide it and fight it, never did Johnny good. Mommy blaming herself, saying it's in our genes. Held me tight late at night, woken up by my screams. Tears mixed with sweat, drenched, heavy breathing, chest heaving, pounding, profoundly crying. Mommy, I'm at my death dreaming. Nightmaring at the tender age of 8. Never would she guess this forever be my fate. Picture life in her shoes, picture nights from a view. Powerless while in cowardice, your baby cries to you. Lids so tight as you try and look in his eyes. Just the thought of his thoughts sends shivers down your spine. Black magic placed on her fetus while in her womb. Now handsome facing these demons till in my tomb. I'm a survivor though, get it from you, mama. This my survivor flow, Jesus' blood is my armor. Strong.
Jesus' blood is your armor. Boy, I've been with you since birth. The only one who's loved you.
I like you. Unlovable. Just unlovable. Lack of love in my mind, never in real life though. But every love I find seems to pay the price. So I'm seen as somewhat destructive when in relationships. I'm something like Joseph Budden, I can't relate to shit. Diana says I give more than I'm supposed to. Barely even know him, yet give my all, is so true. But can you blame me? The guy that made me left when I was 4, I never saw relating. Guess I'm making up for love mommy never got. Like how can someone I want love that'll never stop? Mike Jack, human nature, people so backwards. Guess my ways push away what I'm so after. Unlovable, that's the cross else out there unlovable. I guess I'm flawed with care. I'm a provider, yo. Get it from my mama. Just that provider flow. Jesus' blood is my armor. I'm strong.
Where was he on those nights? Those many nights when no one heard you cry, but me.
We all go through it. That good old dark night of the soul. Or sometimes you just don't know. Solitude, gotta do, feeling all horrible, questioning God like, tell me what I gotta do. Prayers unanswered, leave my soul cancered. Devil two-stepping and I'm his newest dancer. At a point I swore I'd never get to, pill popping and drinking when things got stressful. Worship betrayal, then my superstar abandons me. Same shit again, Lord, what else do you have for me? Pain so profound, sadness when I think of the madness and all the downs. Perks and some Xanax, amassing my own fixes. Worst of my habits, when at it, I'm so vicious, so consistent. Lying to myself, I'm like, I'm chilling, God, no longer need your help, alright? End of my wits, feeling like shit. Soul sucked dry, in desperate need of a sip. I'm dying of thirst, I'm dying of thirst. Lamar in my head, like stop denying your hurt. All the lying is worse, until you lying or hearse. Your only mission is witness, then testify to his work. Rectifying your worth, let the fire disperse. Your words, your greatest gift, that shit you rhyming is church. Testify a roll, bread through the drama. I take them higher flow, Jesus' blood is my armor. Strong. I didn't understand the work you was doing while you were doing it. Not gonna lie, shit felt like there was no way out at times. And I know my faith's supposed to be stronger than that. But after seeing where you led me down and the path I'm on now, thank you.